Hey, Fit fam, welcome to live Q&A with Coach Fit Pro J every Tuesday at 7 p.m. at facebook.com/FitProJ Coaching. And I'm also broadcasting from my page, my private page, Nutrition Boot Camps for All. So tonight, I'm going to teach you 6 better ways to cheat. And make sure you stick around to the end of the show because I'm going to share with you where you can pick up tonight's bonus, this week's bonus, the How to Cheat cheat sheet. You don't want to miss that. A lot of goodies in there. And then I'm going to introduce the new segment inspired by my brother-in-law, Vinny. I don't know, Ask Jay. We're going to talk about peanut butter, maple syrup, and the best exercise to get a six-pack of abs. All right. So for all of you that don't know me, hi, I'm Coach Fit Pro J, your diet-free fat loss specialist. I've been there, done that, and now I help others do the same. I help people frustrated with the cycle of dieting break the cycle, get results, and never diet again. If you'd like to connect with a coach that talks the talk and walks the walk, hit the Learn More button at the top of the page or connect with me at fitprojcoaching.com. All right, so tonight, I am going to teach you 6 better ways to cheat. But before we get into that, I want to ask you a question. What are your favorite cheat foods? What are your favorite cheat foods? Just type them down in the comment section and I'll read some of them off later on. Even if this is the replay, please type it in the bottom in the comment section. I will see them and I will comment back to you. So I want to know, what are your favorite cheat foods? What do you go to for cheat foods? I myself, I have a sweet tooth. I tend to have a sweet tooth mostly, but I like savory things too. And when I cheat, and we'll talk about that in a second, I tend to go for ice cream, chocolate ice cream. That's one of my favorites. Big bowl of chocolate ice cream. That's my number one go-to for a sweet tooth. And then mom's brownies too. You know, she makes these Ghirardelli chocolate brownies with this espresso powder, but I can't give away the recipe, so sorry about that. But you know, mom's chocolate brownies. I love ice cream, chocolate ice cream, and brownies. And on the savory side of things, I'm kind of into Chinese food. All right, Chinese food, Thai food as well. And I tend to like to go for a higher quality burger and fries. So Chinese food, Thai food, or burger and fries. Ice cream, mom's chocolate brownies. That's what I go for my cheat food. So again, type in the comments section. I want to know, what are your favorite cheat foods? And if this is the replay, type it anyway, because I want to see. What people are into. Got one Facebook user here. Okay. Pizza, dark chocolate, and chocolate chip cookies. Those are good ones. All right, so type in the comment section, what are your favorite foods to cheat with? And let me get into this 6 better ways to cheat. When I'm talking about cheating, I'm not necessarily talking about when you're dieting or restricting your calories. A lot of times it's not the amount of calories. Of course, if you're trying to lose body fat, you want to be in a deficit and have less calories, but you want to sneak in these foods every now and again. Again, restriction. I'm not talking about restriction. You may have a goal that you're trying to eat towards. You're trying to eat towards a goal. That could be gaining muscle. It could be losing fat. It could just be straight up sports performance. But there are typically a list or categories of foods that you would label cheat foods, and you label them cheat foods. It's because it's not conducive to eating towards your goal is all. That doesn't mean that you're not supposed to ever eat it ever. That's just ridiculous, because you got to live life. And there really isn't a huge difference between being 100% and 90 or 85%. There really isn't. So when I say cheat foods, it's just you're eating food you typically wouldn't eat to get towards your goal. That's all. So again, type in the comment section. I want to know what your favorite cheat foods are. So let's get into this. 6 better ways to cheat. These first 2 ways to cheat, we're going to keep it simple. All right. We're going to use keep it simple, keep it moving, and keep it real, because that's what we do here at Fit Pro J Coaching. Okay. So the first 2, keep it simple. First one, You want to pick a higher quality food or pick higher quality foods when you cheat. I'll give you an example above. One of my savory foods that I love to eat, like I said, is Chinese food, right, or Thai food. Um, when I do get that, I won't order like fried chicken fingers, fried wontons, crab rangoon, just spare ribs, the really greasy stuff. Every now and again, I will, but typically I just try to stay, kind of far away. Maybe I have one or two, or none at all. But I really would get like a beef and vegetable or chicken and vegetable like Mongolian beef. There's various chicken dishes you can get, and I would go ahead and either use the white rice because it's white jasmine rice. I eat white jasmine rice all the time. That's typically what they serve at the Thai or Chinese food restaurant. Um, and sometimes I'll get the fried rice. That's fine too. But I'll typically not. I'll stay away from the heavily deep fried stuff when I go to Chinese food. Plus, it doesn't sit very well anyway in your stomach, especially when you're eating higher quality foods on a normal basis. When you gunk up your system, so to speak, with that, it can make your stomach upset and your digestive system upset. Another example is I like a high quality, burger and fries when I cheat. Um, I won't go to McDonald's, uh, Burger King. I can't remember the last time I ate something like that. But at a restaurant or a pub or a place like that, just get a higher quality, burger and fries as opposed to getting fast food. So those are two examples of picking higher quality foods when you go to cheat, as opposed to getting uh, other stuff that's less nutritious and that will just it's just not good for you. And on the sweet tooth side of things, ice cream, so I'd rather go over to like a your local ice cream parlor, or if I do have to buy ice cream at a grocery store, I'll get a higher quality ice cream. I'll sit down, I'll read the labels, see what has sugar or high fructose corn syrup or natural versus unnatural things, and I'll pick a more natural ice cream. And it tends to taste better too, believe it or not. So keep it simple. Number one, pick higher quality foods. All right. So the second way to keep it simple and a better way to cheat is to don't overeat. Sounds easier said than done, right? Um, when you do go to have a cheat food, what you may want to do is just eat a little bit slower, slow down. Okay. There is a delayed response from your brain to your stomach for your stomach to tell your brain that it's full and to stop eating. Have you ever sat there and just kept on eating? It was so good and you felt full already, but then you just kept going. And then when you stopped, about 15 minutes later, you get this uncomfortable full. That's because there is a 15 to 20-minute delayed reaction between you eating and your stomach being full and it telling the signal telling your brain that you're actually really full. So you want to just, don't overeat. One way to do that is to slow down your eating. Another way to do that is to drink maybe a half a liter or a liter, drink a lot of water when you're eating your cheat meal. That liquid will displace, space in your stomach so that you don't eat as much of a quantity of food or you get full a little bit quicker. And that fullness is not just from food, it's also from water. So that's keep it simple. Step number two to better way to cheat. Don't overeat. There is something in the bonus, tonight's bonus for that, by the way, to help you out with that. So stick around to the end and know where to get this bonus. But before I get into the next number three, better way to cheat, I see a comment came in here. Let me take a look at what's going on. Okay, more people talking about what they cheat with. Nachos, popcorn, and Mexican food, quesadillas, and Chinese food. Oh my, not much of a sweet tooth there, but I hear you. There's a lot of things you can do. Like if you go to the Mexican restaurant, the nachos they bring to the table, just limit yourself. Maybe just put some on the plate and then just eat the ones that are on the plate as opposed to taking it from the bowl on the table that everybody's taking from. That way you can kind of limit yourself. They tend to bring more chips when you're done anyway. So that would easily limit yourself to do that. So excellent. That thumbs up. All right. Let me get back into this. So number three, And number 3 is under the category keep it moving. Because remember, we're keeping it simple, keeping it moving, and we're keeping it real. We're on keep it moving now. So keep it moving. If you just joined us right now, we're talking about 6 better ways to cheat. If you missed 1 and 2, you're going to have to catch the replay. We're on to number 3 under keep it moving. All right. Number 3, better way to cheat. Have your cheat meal after your workout. All right. So I tend to do this a lot. When I work out, have a nice strenuous, intense weight workout or any really type of workout that's intense, what I'll do is I'll tend to plan my cheat meals with my workout. So say Friday night, I want to, have something off menu or I want to cheat. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and get my workout in, and I will end up eating my cheat meal shortly after, about 2 hours or so, hour and a half to 2 hours after, depending on what's going on. But that way, most of the excess calories will go towards repair and rebuilding what you have torn down or, in recovery instead of being spilled over into fat storage. So have your cheat meal after your workout, or at the very least, have it on a day that you do work out, like after you work out. It doesn't have to be the hour and a half to 2 hours after your workout, as long as it's after your workout. But the closer to the workout, the better. So save that cheat meal if you can for after a workout. All right, so that's keep it moving, number 3. Now I'm going to get to number 4 to keep it moving. Get back on routine after your meal. This is where a lot of people kind of either fall off, or a cheat meal turns into a cheat day, can turn into a cheat week. We don't want that to happen. So keep it moving. Once you're done with that cheat meal, your next meal is what your next meal is supposed to be. Just leave it at that. So the best way to get that done is to you're probably going to prepare your cheat meal, or if you do prepare your cheat meal like I do, it's going to be after a workout. What I'll tend to do is I'll know that I'm going to have to eat after again, and so that I don't eat anything else like leftovers after. Like if you got full and you use rule number 1, don't, or rule number 2, don't overeat, and you have some left over, you don't really want to keep that in the house, and you don't want to have that around, because typically if it's in the house or in the refrigerator, you're going to eat it. So, try to keep no leftovers, all right? Or give it away, do something, all right? If you have dogs, whatever the case may be. Um, the other thing you might want to do is have your next meal or meals after your cheat meal prepped already. That way, after being in a coma after eating your cheat meal, if that's what happens, you'll be less reluctant to get up and make food. So if your meal is already prepped or smoothie is already prepped, you're all set. Just get back on routine after that meal. Do not continue it and make it a cheat day and a cheat weekend and a cheat week and month or whatever. Don't do that. All right. So keep it moving. Number 4, get back on routine after your meal. So after that, I want to talk about keeping it real. All right. But before we do that, I'm going to go to the comments, see what's going on here. All right. Meat, my cheese, juicy brown. All right. Pizza nachos are my cheat meal go-to. All right. Watermelon and watermelon martinis. All right. That's a different type of cheat. All right. We have this. After a scare with my pancreas a couple of months ago, I've cut back on meat. My cheat is a juicy burger, but with lots of veggies and no bun. That's a cool way to do it. Peanut butter with honey satisfies my sweet tooth when I cheat. Excellent. Excellent. Nothing wrong with that at all. And that's it for those comments. All right. So now I want to get to number 5 under keep it real. Remember, we're keeping it simple, keeping it moving, and keeping it real as I'm teaching you 6 better ways to cheat. All right. So number 5. You didn't get fat from one cheat meal. All right, let's keep it real. It takes more than that to get fat. All right, you have to be consistent to get fat, just like you have to be consistent to get fit. It's that easy, okay? So you don't get fat from one meal. Keep it real. Don't have that meal or overeat and go and do too much and then feel bad about it, all right? Just keep it moving and keep it real. You don't get fat off of one meal. Just your next meal is the one that it's supposed to be, and you'll be okay. Don't look back. That brings me to number 6, okay? If you overeat, don't look back. There's no need. There's nothing you could do anymore. It's past. It's gone. It's done. All right? Move forward. Move on. You have the whole future in front of you. There's no need to harp on that one meal, or even if it happened to be two, it happens. You know what I mean? Even if it's the weekend, all of a sudden, oh no, what happened to my weekend? Don't look back. Continue forward. It's okay. It's going to happen. We're all human. All right. So keep it real. You don't get fat from one cheat meal and don't overeat. If you do overeat, don't look back. Again, the bonus will help you out with that. Okay. The how to cheat sheet. I'm going to explain to you how to pick it up at the end of this. Moving right along. I have a new segment for our show, and it was inspired by my brother-in-law, Vinny. And it's called, let me get this graphic up. I don't know, Ask Jay. You know, I get a lot of questions on different things, of course, whether it's a exercise movement or a product or something about food. You know, I don't know, Ask Jay. That's how I came up with it. So, um, I want to know, are there any products or foods that you would like to ask me about? Or it could even be movements if you want, exercise movements, but are there any products or foods that you'd like to ask me about? Please put it in the comment section. And again, if you're hitting this on the replay, you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and put it in the comment section. I would like to know, are there any products or food that you'd like to ask me about? Because I will go ahead and feature that on the next show on the segment. I don't know, Ask Jay. All right. So, are there any products or foods that you'd like to be asked about? Before I get into some of these that I have here ready to go for you guys, I would like to ask you something. You guys remember this? You guys remember this owl? You remember Mr. Owl? How many licks does it take the Tootsie Pop? Anybody? I'd like to know in the comments section. I mean, I'm 44. I don't think I'm that old, but again, 80s and 90s nostalgia, that's my thing. So every week on this show, I will be wearing a nostalgic t-shirt. Last week, well, not last week. I apologize about last week. Nasty headache. There was no way I was going live. It would not have been a good experience for you guys or for myself. So I'm a human being. It's going to happen from time to time. Sorry about that. But the week before that, I was wearing an Atari shirt. Atari 2600, used to old school video game. Man, I'm showing my age. I even played Pong. You remember Pong? Table, the tennis, the two knobs, and it had the wood grain. Anyway, so yeah, hit me up in the comments section if you remember Mr. Owl. And if you really do know how many licks it takes to get to the inside of a Tootsie Pop, I want to know that. All right. I'm going to go over to the comment section here, see what's going on. Haha. Move forward. Love it. Good. Excellent. Yes. Yes. That was the best game, wasn't it? Hey, Karen, how's it going? I'm sorry I missed you the other night when you were over, but I hope they said hi for me. That was the best game. Okay, guys, let me get back to where I was here. You remember Mr. Owl, huh? Yeah. All right. So I don't know. Ask Jay. That's what we're doing. I don't know. Ask Jay. The first thing I have for you guys is, what's the difference between natural peanut butter and the typical commercial peanut butter? Like Skippy, Peter Pan, Jif. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Give me just a second to pull this up. I'm going to share with you some peanut butter, a commercial and a natural one, just so I could explain to you what I'm doing here. Okay, let me pull this up. Okay, so we have Skippy over here, and we have a natural Crazy Richard's natural peanut butter on this side. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. All right, so what I want you guys to look at is you have a couple things you got to look at. You got the serving size, okay, on this Skippy here is 2 tablespoons or 32 grams. And on this Crazy Richard's peanut butter, the same serving size, 2 tablespoons or 32 grams. That's how you know you're comparing apples with apples as far as like the quantity of something, okay, when you're looking at a nutrition label. This is true of all nutrition labels, by the way. All right, so the Skippy. Let's go down to fat here on Skippy. So Skippy has about 16 grams of fat, and 3 of those are saturated. Crazy Richard natural peanut butter, about the same thing, 16 grams of total fat, and it has 1 gram less of saturated fat within the same serving size. All right, no big deal, right? All right, so total carbohydrates, 6 grams in the Skippy, and in the Crazy Richards, there's about 7. So it's about the same. Fiber in the Crazy Richards is 3, and you got 2 grams. It's almost identical, okay? 3 grams of sugar in the Skippy, and you have about only 1 gram of sugar per serving in the Crazy Richards. Not huge, but it is something, and it does build up over time. Protein is 7, protein is 8. Oh, about almost the same. What the biggest difference here is the ingredients, and this is what I'm talking about quality foods or quality products. Skippy, technically, for the U.S. government states that peanut butter, you can call something peanut butter as long as it's 90% peanuts. It could be 10% other things. So the ingredients in Skippy: roasted peanuts, sugar. So it has added sugar. They added actual sugar to the peanut butter. And then it has something called hydrogenated vegetable oil, which can come from any one of these oils in here. Hydrogenated vegetable oil has more saturated fat in it than natural peanuts do. So that's the extra gram of saturated fat within that serving of that peanut butter, the Skippy. Um, that's what keeps the oil from separating. That's why on this Crazy Richards one, you have this oil on the top that you got to mix in. All right. Look at the ingredients though. Peanuts. That's it. Usually there's peanuts and salt or just peanuts. There's no added sugar. So this 1 gram of sugars is just naturally occurring within the peanut itself. The extra 2 grams of added sugars here in Skippy is added sugar. You want to stay away from added sugar as much as you possibly can. If you go and buy peanut butter, there's no need to buy added sugar unless you're just going for a taste. And if that's the case, you're not really eating for, fitness at that time. You want to stay away from a lot of these chemicals and these different hydrogenated oils and add sugar. Just, peanuts or peanuts and salt. That makes sense. So that is the difference, okay, between natural peanut butter and a commercial peanut butter like Skippy. All right, so that's the first one. And before I get into our next thing, I'm going to check out the comments. All right. All right. So Mr. Owl never made it past 3. You know what? I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna look that up and get back to you. I don't know if Mr. Owl ever made it past three licks. Yep, sugar. That's right. Added sugar. Yep, those oils, no good. Yep, that sugar content. It's what the sugar is. That's what it is. So that's the difference between natural peanut butter and commercial peanut butter, like a Skippy, peanut butter, or Jif. They have added oils and they have added sugars. There's no need to consume that if you don't have to. Okay. All right. On to, I don't know, Ask Jay. Let's go on to the next one. And remember, if there's any products or foods that you want to ask me about, hit me up in the comments section, even if you're watching this on the replay. All right, next question. This is a good one. What's the best exercise to get a 6-pack of abs? Anybody? There is no best exercise to get a 6-pack of abs. Kind of a trick question. Unfortunately, you cannot spot reduce fat off of the body, but you can spot reduce what goes in your mouth. Yeah. So if you consistently put the correct things in your mouth and you lose body fat is going to come off everywhere. Your body fat goes on wherever it feels like first, and it comes off wherever it feels like first. And unfortunately, for a lot of women, they tend to hold fat in their inner or outer thighs, or behind your arms or behind the back. And unfortunately, a lot of guys tend to hold their fat in their midsection, um, and that's just the way it is. You cannot spot reduce fat off of the body. So you can do crunches, you can do leg lifts. It's certainly going to make your core and your abs stronger and develop that muscle, but it's not exactly doing anything directly to the fat that is on top of it. So in order to reveal that muscle that you are building, your abs, you really, really just need to lose body fat everywhere over time, and eventually you will get there. So that is the answer to that. All right. What is the best exercise to get a six-pack of abs? Best exercise is to get your nutrition right and be consistent. That's what will do it. That's what will get you your abs. All right. I'm going to go ahead and head back to the comments section real quick. That's right. You can't target one part of your body. That's absolutely right. Everyone has abs. It's clean eating and exercise that will bring them out, not just exercising. You're right, Karen. That's exactly right. All right. I'm glad everybody is clear on that. And again, if you're just joining us now, we're on the segment, I don't know, Ask Jay, where you can ask me about products, foods, or even movements if you want to. Hit me up in the comments section, even if this is the replay, and I will see if I can go ahead and get you on the next show, or get your question anywhere in the next show, get it answered. All right, so remember, if this is the replay, go ahead and put it in the comments section. Moving on. I don't know, Ask Jay. What's fake about maple syrup? What is fake about maple syrup? I'm going to share my screen again with you on that. Give me just a second. Coming right up. Okay, here we have Vermont Made. Vermont Made. That's not M-A-D-E, M-A-I-D. All right. Typical like Aunt Jemima, or something like that. And then over here you have 100% maple syrup. So what I did here for you guys is, on the nutrition facts, here we are again. So serving size, we're looking at on Vermont Made, 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters. I did the math over here because this is not apples and oranges. I had to turn it into apples and apples. Serving size, 60 milliliters. So cut that in half. That's 30. Now we're dealing with the same serving size. Okay. So let's cut these calories in half. It looks better. Okay. 110 and 105. Now we're equal. Where it really gets interesting, or what happens is the carbohydrates. Okay, when you go into the carbohydrates on the nutrition for Vermont Made, you'll notice 26 grams total carbohydrates. All right, over here it's about 26 and a half for total carbohydrates, because I just took that 53 divided by 2 because to get the correct serving size. All right, so let's go back over here to Vermont Made. Oops, I dragged the wrong thing. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so under total carbohydrates, yeah, 26, but total sugars, 19. But what they did here on this label is they broke down into added sugars. So total sugars is 19 and the added sugars is 19. So the only sugars in this Vermont Made syrup is added sugars, and that's all. And how do you know what those sugars are made out of? We'll get back to that. Look at this. Look at the 100% pure maple syrup. Total carbohydrate 53, total sugars are 53, includes 0 grams of added sugars. I mean, 30 milliliters is 26 and a half, but there are no added sugars whatsoever in this at all. But yet over here in this Vermont Made syrup, okay, I call it sugar syrup, there's 19 grams of added sugar. And guess where it comes from? Look at the ingredients. High fructose corn syrup, Okay, those are where the sugars are coming from in this syrup. And then we have water, natural and artificial maple flavor, cellulose. What is all this? They even have to color this stuff to make it look right. It's probably clear, or who knows what color that is. Sodium benzoate. I mean, really? Look at all the stuff. Look at all these ingredients that are in here. Now, go over to the ingredients of the maple syrup. Sorry about that, guys, so you can see. Let me go back here. So high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup are the first two ingredients. The first two ingredients are the ingredients that is the most in the product. So your added sugars here in this Vermont made syrup are just high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup. Gross, okay? Over here, ingredients, maple syrup. And it's 100% pure maple syrup, okay? That's where your sugars come from, maple syrup. And guess what, guys? I bet you didn't know maple 100% maple syrup or 100% natural maple sugar actually has about the equivalent antioxidants of green tea. Now, that doesn't mean go crazy and just use maple syrup like you would green tea, because sugar is sugar is sugar pretty much. But ingesting the maple syrup on your pancakes versus Vermont made sugar syrup or corn syrup onto your pancakes with food coloring, it sounds kind of gross when you say it. Uh, but when you'll never switch back to that Vermont made or fake stuff ever again after you have actual 100% maple syrup. It just tastes so much better, and it's so much better for you. So I hope I answered that question. Okay. What's fake about maple syrup? All right. What's fake about maple syrup? Everything's fake about Vermont made. Nothing fake at all about a 100% maple syrup. All right. I'm going to go over to the comments section here. Okay. Let's see. I like that. Weightlifting versus cardio for fat loss. I'm going to get into that next. I'm going to get into that next week. I'm going to put that on a list for next week. Added sugar if it's not pure maple syrup. Yep. Preservatives to extend shelf life. Yeah, why do you need to extend the shelf life? I mean, maple syrup I just put in the refrigerator. That stuff, man, that probably lasts forever, like a McDonald's burger on the ground or something. Who knows? Yes, very interesting. Awesome info on syrup. Yeah, appreciate that. Excellent. That's what I don't know. Ask Jay. That's what it's for. Is to get your questions answered and bust some of these nutrition myths. All right. So again, if you're just joining us now, we're about to end, but I don't know. Ask Jay. Need some more questions. So ask me about any products that you'd like to ask me about, foods, physical activity, working out, whatever the case may be. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and hit me up in the comment section there, and I will get to it in one of these next weeks in one of these lives. All right, so to recap for you guys before we get to the bonus, don't forget about that. To recap, I taught you 6 better ways to cheat by keeping it simple, keeping it moving, and also keeping it real. I talked about maple syrup, peanut butter, and how to get a 6-pack of abs in our new segment inspired by my brother-in-law, Vinny. I don't know. Ask Jay. We got to get him on here. I don't know. I think he's camera shy. We'll see. We'll see what I could do. All right. And then this week's bonus is called the How to Cheat Cheat Sheet. All right. The How to Cheat Cheat Sheet. And the way to access that How to Cheat Cheat Sheet, it is, you have to join my Facebook group, Nutrition Bootcamps for All, if you haven't yet, because it's going to be posted there. All right. I'll pin it to the top of the group. It should be up there about now. But I will pin it to the top of the group so you don't miss it. But the How to Cheat Cheat Sheet, go ahead and get up there, download it. It has information about how to, it's information that you can use right away with any food that you eat at any time. It doesn't matter. It just works. It helps your body work for you instead of against you. So you got to check that out. The How to Cheat Cheat Sheet. And the way to get that is to join my Facebook group, Nutrition Bootcamps for All. It will be pinned to the top of the group. And before I take off, got a couple of comments here. Okay. Ooh, plant-based yogurt. I have not tried that yet. So what I'm going to do is look it up and I will probably post it on the group. I've never had that. No, never heard of that brand. Oh, we'll definitely get to that in one of these next ones. But again, if you're just joining, please, if you're on the replay, put in the comments section and anything that you want to ask me about, and I will get to it in another show, but I will definitely see it. All right. And then for those of you that don't know me again, I'm Coach Fit Pro J. All right. Your diet-free fat loss specialist. I've been there, done that. I was about 300 pounds with a 44, 46-inch waist about over a decade ago. But now I help others frustrated with the cycle of dieting break the cycle, get results, and never diet again. All right. So if you'd like to connect with a coach that talks the talk and walks the walk, hit the learn more button at the top of this page or at the top of my Facebook page. Or you can visit fitprojcoaching.com and you can connect with me there instead. All right. So remember, Fit Fam, keep it simple, keep it moving, and keep it real, especially when it comes to your fitness. And I'll see you next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. in the same place, facebook.com/fitprojcoaching. Hope you guys had fun. See you next week.